extra, so there's. I'm just googling it now because I don't know
So
what
okay, so you are 18 years old, or what is the adult age in Canada? 18,
might
20.
change. It differs by what you're asking for and by the province.
So for joining the forces?
How old do I need to? I don't know nothing about the army in Canada.
Here is 18.
Um, 18 years old, 17 with parental consent.
Oh,
For the paid education programs, you may be 16 years old.
okay, so you can sign up and get the student program resources and then join when you have 18, I guess. Okay, kind of like
The
here.
maximum age, we have maximum age too,
Oh,
39 years.
39? Okay, yeah, maybe for not have, old people. 70
Let's
years
say,
old people there.
So on the ground, the Marines have the lowest maximum age for regular military service at 28 years old.
Interesting. So,
But a lot of this stuff is mixed up with religion too. Like Canada, it's not in, like American religion is in your face, and it's super obnoxious, right? And it's a real burden. In Canada, it's not in your face, but there's kind of like a quiet, polite condescension. That's what religion is in Canada. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's kind of like it's God has my back. It's just kind of like smug. but you know what? I'll take that over a lot of other countries in the world that they have. Like what's happening to Gullah in Pakistan, right? Do you hear about that case?
No?
So she's on the board of Humanist International. She spoke out against the rape and murder of a 10-year-old girl in Pakistan. This is June. And so the government charged her with sedition because it was under the Terrorism Act or the terrorism law. And now they're harassing her family. She's in hiding, but she couldn't be killed. And there's only 9 board members at the Humanist International. And I checked their constitution because I was writing a press release for Humanist Canada. I just had it before this call, and it's like the second article of their constitution says, the state of Pakistan will be an Islamic state. So we don't really have that in Canada. It's not really endorsing. There are certain privileges. There's a certain smugness, but we're an educated population on science, on math, on writing, and that really influences, I think, the tone of religion too. And we're a young country, so we're not a big dinosaur like America is, where change can be very difficult. Like Canada, it's still a young country, so there's still some room for some rapid change in certain areas.
And I think the people are more flexible and adaptable to whatever change. Like, see this type of, like, people are hard to try to convince about something, even if you have in black and white, facts and evidence and numbers and statistics. See the same way how they take the stuff and just get angry because the culture is like I need have to win, I have the reason. People are not open to other ideas or to facts, because facts change. Today we have this, I don't know, for example, science. You have this results in 1988, right? But now you have new instruments, so you do the same, test, the same investigation, and now you have different results. So now you are a liar. People don't understand. You have new instruments, you have new investigation, another hypothesis, and then you found a different result. And I think in my mind, that's great. Let's go investigate this again. Let's see if this one was right. Let's see if this one is true. And let's see if it is another factors. No, people are just, oh, you are lying. You're lying. That's a lie. Because they are just defensive, aggressive, angry, and scared to change or scared to see something different than what they used to every day. And that happened with climate of change topic.
Yeah.
You can see if scientists will say, oh, today we found this, but and yesterday was this, I will not believe in you. No, You don't have to believe in somebody. You don't have to believe in their results. You just need to take it. Just take it. You don't have to believe climate change is real. No, that's no religion for you. You have to believe on that. It's just, hey, this is the numbers. That's it. I just telling you. Otherwise, go
Yeah.
you and make it your own investigation.
Yeah. Was it what was the name of that law that people had for YouTube on the comment section? Where it starts out good sometimes, and it breaks down to either party calling each other National Socialists like they're from Weimar, Germany.
I didn't see that.
I think it's Godwin's law. Godwin's law. But I put a lot of this stuff down to two things. I mean, one is confirmation bias. You're just going to see what you want to see. That's for secular people too. But then also the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Which is that the less you know about something, statistically, the more confident you are about your knowledge of it. And and then the more you know about something, you have a confidence about it because you kind of know the field, but it's kind of anti-confidence because now you know all of this stuff and you assume everyone else has that base level of knowledge, and I think do you live in a part of Puerto Rico where it's kind of hyper religious, or you interact with people who are like really
Well, Puerto Rico is a very religious country, but in my own environment, I don't see that like somebody forced me to go to church or somebody forced me. But I can see like, when you argue with somebody outside, probably they just get surprised to find somebody's atheist and they just probably don't have any arguments. But I found people in conference where I talk, they came to me, and usually I have a good, and sometimes my bad experience has been with atheists. Atheists are not agree with me because, usually I explain the religion have a purpose. And sometimes, even if we don't like, we don't like religion because religion is a lie, right? It's not based on nothing. It's not any evidence about what they affirm, right? But on practice, certain ways, religion can help to somebody to feel better, right? Even if it's in a fantasy way. So sometimes I try to explain this in the way, for example, people who use drugs help them to get out. Religion help them to get out to that. And I think, well, that's good because their faith, even if for me it's not real, it's nothing, the important thing is that person get out from there. I don't care how. So atheists get angry with me, and sometimes in person I have these confrontations like, hey, religion is a lie. Why you say, and I was like, why you prefer the people stay in drugs or stay in depression? If a Bible help that person to get out from drugs, to get out for bad habit, for violence, and for have a hope, just do it. I don't go deny to a person to use whatever they can do for try to feel better and be better and have a healthy life. At the end, what matter? God is not real. You just, you're not gonna take nothing away. So I guess they get probably, they don't understand or see it how I see it. For me, it's more important the result than the way. So if the person can get out from a depression and get out for abuse of drugs, go ahead, I will pray for you. But it's just I see it that way. And sometimes we are militant, and I understand that I am militant too, but at the same way I just want a good result for that person. That doesn't mean I will believe in God, or I'm Gnostic, or I'm not a real atheist. I just wanted the best for a person, no matter what is the way. And probably another person will say, well, for me, it's more important a person not believe in God than that person be healthy. But for me, no. I prefer a person be healthy, have good habits, and then we can work with God stuff. But that's pretty much when I have, I guess, a person confrontation. It's been more with atheists than with religion people, believe it or not.
That's totally fair. I agree. Do you want to talk about the topic we were thinking about, by the way?
Sure. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
Okay. At what like to what degree do you want to talk about?
So I was reading and writing, and taking some ideas too, because we was talking about, the bad experience I have with this type of touches, and,
Sure.
and bad experience. So I was researching about it, and it's more in the environment, the work environment, where you see this. So it's pretty interesting how all this research found the same. Usually this happen at work, this happen with vulnerable females who are alone in certain way, and they see they are less. So we can see ways how to prevent that, be in that position.
Okay. Um, do we want to frame this in the terms of general organizations, or in secular organizations, or just kind of a, this is Shirley's take on this sort of thing?
Maybe.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
it works. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay, let's do my one question before the questions.
I consent.
Hooray! So let's start on a somewhat sensitive topic to some in several communities. Uh, However, I want to frame this within some personal experience, which you relayed to me.
Yes.
What is an issue in general culture seen as a social pathology, and how can we work on it? How can we provide a framework for understanding,
Mm-hmm.
as well as maybe some solutions?
So, in the topic of sexual harassment, in general, I think this has been a decades problem. Just now, we empower more women to speak out. So, I sometimes see people saying this is a mother problem. No, this is not a mother problem. It's another type of generation. So I think religions have a lot to do with this, because they in certain ways they visualize the females less than the males. So when you have this culture science, boys grow, you can see how it's more easy for them to accost, harass a person, invalidate a person, not consider that person, and treat it less. And that's when you have this, harassment coming up, because it's all the ingredients. I think she's less than me. I think she is no can defend herself. I think I have probably opportunity to do this and do this. So you can see most of the harassment came in work environment, because it's position of power. That's one. The second one, you can have this thought like she can get something if she give you this. So when you have those ingredients, they feel powerful, so they feel more open to just do that. And I think if you have women in power positions, and male doesn't have that thought, females are less because they came for the ribs, you will not have the ingredients to happen that. But in the work environment, it's more more beautiful for that happen, because they are in position of power. Most of the companies, males are in the top. So that you will feel, asking for solicitation, because she will see probably, well, if I do this, it's gonna be easy for me. I can reach this, and that's when this happened. But not all the case. They, females are agreed to do something like that, and you can see years after they start, complaining about what happened 10 years ago, because probably in that time they don't see how serious is the situation. They abusing of power. They are she are in a vulnerable situation. So I think all those ingredients make this continue and continue, because nobody before speak out. And I guess the only way you can control that is, first, all the patrons, workers, company, have to have a limit. What is sexual harassment? They have to understand that, Is you have to have a parameters. What is sexual harassment? What you go define like a sexual harassment in your work environment. So when you put, oh, you need to put that clear. That's, I guess, the first step. Each company need to say, hey, this is sexual harassment. We go ban, no allow solicitation, favors, or try to treat a person. Hey, if you not do this, you will not have this promotion. Or if you not do this, I will show this about you. Or I will, hurt her in certain way. So the second, after you put your parameter for your work environment, I guess the second step is, educate the people who work with you. What is this and what is this? And the third, consequences. What is going to be the consequences if you do this and do this? So I guess it need to be education. In my work environment, I guess they are pretty good giving these trainings about this, but still happen. I can't imagine this company who no offer any sexual harassment trainings, because they no understand. They are no understand the fact. I went to a conference, and this happened just last year. She was talking about how prevent sexual harassment. And when she was talking, she say, don't put in your office a picture of your vacations in swimsuit and your partner in swimsuit, because that's not professional, and that can be open to people harass you or make opinions about your picture. This is my thought. That was the statement. This is my thought. Okay, can be unprofessional, put a swimsuit picture in your desk. Maybe, right? Maybe professional, right? But when you say that, you sending the message to them, if you're in swimsuit, I can harass you because you're the one that wrong. So she didn't say that, but what happened if I want to put the picture? What happened if I want to put the picture in my desk in swimsuit in a vacation? So he can harass me. I'm the one wrong because I just put a picture. So who is the fault here? The one who harassed or the one who put the picture? So I guess we have to be careful how we give you those trainings, I guess. So that day I stayed quiet because I was like, you know what? I'm angry. If I speak out and tell her you're wrong, I will mess the training. But you know what? I can imagine all those males who was there with me in the training. In their mind, they was like, yeah, it's wrong. Put a picture in Speedos or in swimsuit in the desk. So if she don't want to harass her, she can't put it. But if she put it, it's her problem. So you incentivize that culture. You put more wood to the fire when you do that. No, you can teach that to them. You have to teach them. You have to respect a person no matter how they look, no matter how they get dressed, no matter who they are, no matter how they act. So if I want to walk naked in the shopping, then you have to respect me. Not because I'm naked, you have the right to touch me or say, whatever you want to say to me, or that's an open invitation. No, and that's came with nudity too, like people naked. Oh my gosh, and all that is related. Is related because they give you the value to how much you show. Most you show, less value you have, and that guess is not sure. It's not right, because clothes is a concept. Is something humans create. I guess if we need clothes, we go born with clothes. Animals don't use clothes. Any species use clothes. We are the only ones who do that. So I guess respect need to be the main thing. Respect people no matter what. The people deserve respect no matter how they look, no matter. And that's how came everything. Like people racism, because people don't respect them because they are black, because they are gay, because she's lesbian, because they don't respect, because they judge everybody. People are constantly judging everybody, and that's when you have all these issues. If everybody respect the people no matter how they look, they want to put, I don't know, a cup in the head whatever. They still deserve respect no matter how they look. And I guess if you have that at the beginning, the rest will run smoothly and nobody will have harassment, discrimination, or any other of those things.
If we take a context of misstatements that can then be seen as excuses for sexual assault, as in blaming the victim,
Yes.
and if we take the other case of professional standards in terms of what can and cannot be shown in a professional environment or work environment, will be a proper way in presentations, in lectures, in lessons to the community of workers to separate those two so there's greater clarity on this issue.
I guess, good taste. So, like, one thing is like you are pervert, and something else is you are good taste. I don't want to say that word, but it's the stream. That's how we are. So, when you show the people, it's funny. But that's how they are. If I go with swimsuit, I'm a pervert. But people need have to separate, like, if they is exposure, right? And happen, okay, it's not professional. It's not. I don't want to go to a bank and sit down with a agent there and see them in swimsuit. I don't want to see that. For me, it's not bad, but that don't give me the right to trade them bad or thinking they are less. So I think probably when you have to, teach the person or encourage to the culture, this is knowing good taste. This is I don't want to say appropriate, but it's not necessary. Put something good taste. But if it happen, I still love you. And I still thinking you are a good person. I still thinking you have value. I think you deserve to be treated right if it happen. But I guess good taste always, and thinking what place is for what place. If I'm going to a court, I'm not going with showing my, my body, right? And whatever. But if I'm going to the beach, I will do it. So it's places and it's places, and it's not about, I cover me or I showing here. No, it's places and it's places, I guess, good taste.
What would be an appropriate North American or American way to enact this? For example, a concrete case of an American business environment. In that business environment, there's a separation and a presentation to the community of workers and managers about appropriate behavior and dress in terms of professional presentation and sexual harassment or sexual assault.
So, in certain way, I guess, wow, this is just a mess. In North America, I think it's depend who we're talking about. I'm pretty sure if you see a white girl from Missouri with shorts, nobody will say anything. But if you see in Missouri a black girl with shorts, she don't get dressed properly. And it's funny because I see this everywhere. Like, you can see a skinny girl, blue eyes, blondie, with a shorts showing the half of the butt. Nobody say anything. They can walk and that's it. But, if you see a Latina, that's, oh my gosh, she's showing everything, Or if you see a black girl, oh my gosh, she don't have good taste. She's vulgar, ew. But it's I guess it's whatever came. Depend. They judge depend who your skin color, pretty much here in America. And pretty much.
How is this problem in business culture reflective of the problem in general culture?
Well, in the work environment, I've been working for the government for the past 5 years, and for private companies for past another 8 9 years. And I guess government, you are more are surrounded by old people, um, people who are probably less educated, believe it or not, than probably in a private company, because private company people only have to fight for get that job, I guess, and you have to be super prepared. You can see probably in private companies, they are more liberals, if I can say that word, or more open or more easygoing, depend what case. But you can see in the work environment, people are more demanding how other people may have to act. And I can see that in this past year, people are more pending how you get dressed. People are pending, like me. I wear makeup every day, and people are like, "Oh, why are you so fancy?" I was like, "It's not fancy. In my culture, for you go to work, you put makeup, and do your hair. You don't even have to wait for that waiting for do your hair, or waiting for birthday for you can put makeup. I guess you can taking care of yourself every day. So you can see how they pending about that. But when you work in private company, everybody want to look good. Everybody in business, everybody, your image depend. And I guess because it's demanding, you look good, you always in shape, always clean. I guess they are more open to everybody get dressed whatever they want. But when you're working for the government in America, I guess people are more demanding and more, you know, obsessed to how you look and what is proper and what is not proper. And I remember months ago, one of the ladies who worked with me asking to me why you wear a dress here. And I was like, is it legal to wear a dress? It was a long dress, a grandma dress. and what they expect? She expect like going with jeans every time or going with slackers all the time or pants all the time? No. And that's, and you can see how they expect something, and how I don't go look nobody how get dressed, honestly. Like, I don't care. Like, I look your face, not your clothes. And people here, probably old people, probably are more, I don't know, obsessed to what is the right thing, and in their own concept what is the right thing, because that's another thing. What in their minds is the right way to get dressed to go to work? What in their brain is the right way to get dressed? So pretty much, I guess people here are obsessed to other people's life, I guess.
Does some of this confusion on the topic of sexual harassment, sexual assault, professionalization of the workplace and behavior and dress and so on reflect an almost, when in Rome sort of situation, where the subculture, Missouri or Puerto Rico, or a work culture with more older people in the job, like the government, or more young people in the job, like a music studio or something like this, it can be different, where the amount of skin showed, what skin showed, what color of dress, the flashiness of the dress and the makeup and so on, is seen as varying degrees of flaunting in an inappropriate or in an inappropriate manner.
Yeah, I guess is the whole thing is who have it and where have it. I don't know. I guess.
This is like that question when we were kids. We always learn about who, what, where, when, and why.
Yes. Kind of. Yeah.
What would be seen probably in American culture generally as almost always a red line that should never be crossed in a professional context? Young culture, old culture, and so on.
Probably, in my personal experience, used clothes is related to black people. I guess that's not tolerated. You will receive comments all the time. And it's funny because Caribbeans use colorful stuff, use the same type of, fabrics and all that stuff. And you will see white people don't use that. And when you do something like that, they get surprised because you are Hispanic and they in their brains that clothes for black people. And that happened to me often. Like, if I have dresses I buy in Puerto Rico to the Jamaican people, who they do dresses, and I bring that here and I wear it to go to work, no matter how color it is, everybody like, oh. and where you get that dress? I was like, and you see the way, and you know, or oh, that dress is like, you know, you can see it through, and I was like, and you know, and I guess it's just where they associate that. So probably, you know, if I get a Calvin Klein dress and it's short, nobody will say anything. But if I get a Jamaican dress, the same lawn or the same short, they will say something. So they have prejudgment, I guess, all the time, and depend of that, that's how they react, I guess. Probably guessing, but you know, pretty much that's been my experience.
Has the culture acted poorly or well to the mass movements arising mostly on social media, but important because they're based on conversations about women mostly, and men, and some men, raising their concerns about sexual harassment, sexual assault in the workplace and in public life.
Like, if it is important for them.
No. Obviously it's important to them. I mean more in the context of the culture handling it. In other words, people bring forth trauma,
So
instances of abuse. Does
So-
the culture act well or bad?
yeah, so the perception, I see how they perceive this stuff. I guess males, what I see, they're thinking is just, oh, another class of this, oh, feminist drama, because for them, not all of them, but for most of them, is unnecessary because they know being exposure to that type of incomparable moment, so they don't understand how important is understand that. And this example I bring to you about the photo in the desk went very deep to me, and I guess we can relate this in these questions because they see it normal. They see, you know, say a compliment to a female, it's okay. And you know, because depending what is a compliment, I can tell you, oh, nice hair, new hair color, or I can say, oh my gosh, I want to pull your hair. You know, it's about the hair, but
Who are these men?
so I guess it's the context. I can tell you, oh, how nice you look in that dress, or I want to take him off that dress. So, you know, you can say the dress look pretty, but you don't have to say I want to take him off that dress off, or you know. So they don't see, I guess, the difference between what is a compliment and what is an uncomfortable comment who can just drop in harassment. They don't see it. I don't think they see the difference. And they don't pay attention to the classes because they thinking is unnecessary and that no happen. They don't thinking that happened. They don't think that happened. And
What, what about the context of some sectors of men throwing their hands up and saying, we're at ground zero again. We have to go back to basics. You know, I don't know how I should act in any context anymore, unquote.
like males get frustrated with this.
In a sense.
They
but
are.
more-
They are
but-
frustrated.
but in a more compassionate sense, of those sector of men who feel as if they don't know what to do anymore, though it seems like an exaggerated response to me.
Yeah.
What is a
The right way.
gentle and friendly response or retort to that reaction of some?
Yeah, it's hard. It's like it's maybe what is bad to me, maybe for another female it's not. So maybe for them it's gonna be very confusing, and you see they just throw everything away and say I don't want know anything about it. But I think for them it should be like always looking for consent before doing something. You don't have to be, hey, can I give you a compliment, yes or no? You know, don't have to be in that way. But if you think, you know, you're close with that person, you know, and I don't want to say males sometimes are stupid, but but sometimes they don't realize what is appropriate in that moment timing sometimes, you know. When I was telling you the other day, when this guy will say me bye, he don't even have to touch me. So, you know, it's not like I never have a close relation for it can be that comfortable. Maybe if I have a friend who I meet him for 20 years ago and we've been close since we was little, and maybe if he hugged me or something, I was like, okay, because we are friends. And but a person you just see 2 3 times, it's common sense. And if you work with that person, you have to be distant and, you know, be professional. If you asking for put nice pictures on their desk, be respectful too, and maintain a distance and a line between, you know, what is friendship and what is be a co-workers. But to males, I know it's frustrating because sometimes I've been talking with friends that was like, I'm scared to date with somebody because I don't know where I go cross the line of harassment. And or you know, or you dating with a girl and then just have a night together and then next day she say you assault her, you know, and you know, and she didn't consent. But what is consent? How females can make that consent clear? How males can look for that consent or assume it's a consent? Because usually we assume, oh, he smile, maybe he's comfortable, because that's our brain. We see faces, we see smiles, we see you know, bad faces. We interpret that in our brains, even if we don't express it. So maybe I see a smile from him and I was like in my mind, oh, it's okay, I do this, or I talk this way to this person, or I touch this person, because in my brain I assume something. And I think it happened in the same way to males. They assume because she's been having a conversation with him or because she's open to talk about this with him, maybe he feels like he had the right to can do this or do that. And it's just because people assume all the time. And you know, maybe she's smiling, but she's just smiling because she's uncomfortable. In my case, happen often. Sometimes when I'm uncomfortable, I just smile, and maybe if the person don't know me, they know understand that's a scared smile, no a happy smile. And I guess that's all the problem. When you have to give a personal space to the people, and you know, don't take extra rights if you don't know the person, if you're not close with that person. And you know, I know it's for males super difficult, like how I can introduce myself with this girl, or how I can be close with this girl and try to show I like her, you know, how I do that. And I know it's confusing, but I guess, you know, time, know the person, give you personal space, respect all the time, and not assume probably, because I can talk with a male and maybe have a great conversation, smile and be open and friendly, and that doesn't mean I want that person to tell me I want to take him off your dress. You know. So you know, we have to stop assuming, I guess.
For example, as an actionable, if we read online articles, we can see women and men using these various apps, Grindr, Tinder, etc. In Iceland, apparently, they have one specifically for Icelanders. The reason Iceland remains mostly ethnic Icelandic. So, if they want to sleep with someone, they put themselves on the app, then they can see, oh, you're not my third cousin. Let's get home. So men and women use these. They come in a variety of forms. At the same time, almost all women probably, if they receive one, they don't like it. I'm speaking, of course, of lewd images of men's genitalia sent to them. And the men showing this off as if it's a display in a fine art museum. Perhaps one actionable would be to kibosh that part of subculture.
Well, if it worked for some people, why not? Make it easier, the introduction way, the introduction step.
Your hesitation makes the point for me. Does some of this reflect either a breakdown or a communication that
The
was not ever there.
the app, the app.
Oh no, not the app. No, no,
Oh.
no, 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 no. I'll take one step back. Oh, well, we can. But I mean, if we're looking at like North American culture, and if we're looking at the questions, well, what is consent? When does someone, in the terminology, fully enthusiastically consent to sex?
Call my attorney.
Right? These sorts of things. I believe
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle had a joke about this in terms of signing the contract, the love contract,
Yes.
and all of these
What
things.
is consent? Yeah.
I mean, there are, bombastic spokes dolts around the public sphere, asking these questions in a non-curious,
Mm-hmm.
non-inquisitive, and hostile way.
Mm-hmm.
However, if tone is appropriate, these questions can be important. And does this aspect of North American culture of all the things coming forward, people feeling like they couldn't come forward before, people not knowing in response when something is or is not appropriate, does this reflect a
Yeah.
breakdown in communication, or does it reflect a communication that was never
Yeah.
even there?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, people use body language for consent. So that's when I talk about assume, because people assume by body language, oh, I'm welcome to do this. Plus all the ingredients we was talking earlier. I guess body language should be not considered a consent way. Maybe. But maybe that's the way been using people for years. Because sometimes works, and sometimes doesn't work and very bad. But when it crossed the line of touch, this happened, touch, I guess it's no way back, that may have to be avoided totally. Like, maybe you can say something inappropriate for that person or something without consent or try to go do the extra mile. And, but it was just verbal. I guess that hurt less. It's better saying sorry, oops, I apologize for that. But you touch somebody, you will lose that person forever in the way like that person will be feeling comfortable in another way will try to avoid you no matter what, because that happened to me. And it was no way I can be there. It was just that came in my mind always when I see that person. Yeah, and males sometimes don't understand that. Probably happened to in another way, females to males too. But in my female perspective, I guess it's very traumatizing when it's going to touch. Maybe somebody I get compliments all the time, and I already handle it. It's something like, again, another one. So, but I guess touch, when welcome, or when you don't have consent, and when nobody give you permission to do that, I guess it's traumatizing. And some males, I guess, don't understand that. They think, I touch it. They don't see something important. They don't see how deep it can go inside somebody. Like, you will never forget that. And, they don't understand, I guess, because they never been exposed to that. So when you're not exposed to something, you don't understand it. Unless you have a 100% empathy skills, I guess.
Does this level of uncomfortableness reflect many conversations with girlfriends?
How? Go.
If you're relaying an experience to women friends of yours,
Mm-hmm.
do they, if they have a similar experience, feel the same?
I guess. So yeah. I guess I've been more strong than other females I know going through this too, because sometimes they just quit the job, or sometimes they just stay quiet about it. I feel I've been more strong than other females. I speak out. I never quit, because I'm not the person who commit the mistake, and I think this problem is more bigger than when we thought. And females, because they feel less automatic by default, because all this culture we have in certain places, I guess they just scared to people prejudge them. Oh, that happened to you because you get dressed like this, or this happened to you because you was talking with him. Because that will happen. Like people will always will try to put to you the fault, or you are the main reason why this happened, and you are the one who proposed this thing, And I think in friends' experiences, um, is the same thing like I've been through. Like you get freeze, when happen, and when happen, you just don't know how to react. Even if you practice before what you go say, in that moment you forgot. And in that moment you don't know what to tell. You don't know how avoid a situation, how let him know clear you don't like it. And even if you are a very powerful woman in the emotional way, you still freak out. You still freak out when that happened because for some reason you thinking it will be bad to you, not to him. Like and I guess that's the main thing. Like you feel, oh my gosh, if I told this to him, this will be awkward, or everybody will think bad about me. And I guess all of those things is what you think. Like if I complain about what this just happened, this person close to me will thinking it's my fault, or will thinking I was there. So if I don't want that happen, I should not be there. And that's, I guess, the main stuff who come into your thoughts when you present that in the right moment. Because I was reflecting about it, and I think that was the main thing coming to me. Like I was having people around me, in most of the occasion, people around me. I was totally in my 7 cents. I was never been drunk, never been in another there's nothing. So why I'm freak out? And it's the same thing, because I will feel bad if I say something, and how the people will react. I just scared how people will react if I say this is just happened to me. I guess in my experience.
Does this reflect a strong sex and gender difference between males and females, men and women,
Clearly,
in terms of the level of feeling about this and potentially callousness about this?
clearly, because females are being exposed more to this. A study is a statistic. It's no, I'm saying probably, 8 females compared to 2 males or something like that. Maybe it's very common. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
What would be a recommendation for men and women victims, or girl and boy victims, to come forward so it doesn't sit for months and years?
I guess not just only looking for help. I guess you have to understand how to be strong if it happen again, because it will happen again. This has been happened to me. I can count. I remember 5 times, and one of them been 2 years ago, and the person actually grabbed me and hold me, like I was actually hold me in front of camera. So these people don't understand how bad it is, because if you know you are bad, you will not do that in front of camera. Like you do it in front of camera, you was aware it was a camera out there, and you just did it because they don't understand how serious it is. They thinking it's okay, they think that behavior is okay, and it's not. And when this happened to me, this person grabbed me and told me, and he told me, I don't want to let you go, I want you to stay with me always, in front of camera, in a workplace. So how in the world you go hold a person in front of camera and not let them go, and put your chest with my chest like this? And that happened to me 2 years ago, and I was just freaked out, and I was just like, leave me alone. I just say this and put that person apart with my 2 hands, and he tried to grab me again, and I was like, don't touch me. I walk out and I called my boss and I said, this is just happened, and she told me, walk out of the building right now. And she said, do whatever you have to do, get out from there. And that person go in trouble, of course, and lose their job after that. But to me is very serious. If that happened with a camera there with 20 people working there in a work environment and just exposed to everything in the middle of some break room, it was a break room in the middle there, why would detain somebody to do it in a closed place? You know, if that happened to me, people don't know how I am. I'm a loud person, and happened to me. I can imagine to a quiet lady who don't have friends, who work in a factory, hiding in the back. I can't imagine. And then this all these stories about rape, nobody believe on those stories. They always blame on the victim. And I sometimes I that bother me more thinking how this can be possible to me, and bother me thinking, oh my gosh, what can happen to other people who are not loud like me, are not strong like me, because that don't affect me daily. I can live with that. I was like, this is not right, and I do the right thing. I accuse the person what they do. I do the right way. But I wish I can have the strongest to punch the person in the right moment and push the person and say something. I wish I can have that. Why? Why we not do that? Why we not more strong and more aggressive? They deserve aggressive. They don't deserve we crying for what happened. We should be more strong. And I guess it's something I need have to change personally. I have to be more strong and more loud when something like that happened. Pretty much. But bother me think when this can happen to another person is not like me. I guess that going to me more deep than actually my own experiences. Yeah, pretty much. I know it's hard. It's hard. And then the two last one, it was last week. Remember I told you that often, like 2 times in 1 week, one on Tuesday, one on Saturday. Two different persons, work environment. Yeah. You can ask it.
So guess what? Boyfriend decided to fucking work on it.
What do you think is going to be the fallout of this?
Say it again, Scott.
What do you think is going to be the fallout of this
In my case or in general?
in general?
I guess this just fell in parents when they have to start this, as soon as they start understand talk, when you have to just know talk to them about it, just put in practice how we treat other people. Happened to me today. One of our people asking, I talk and give answer to that person, and that person after want to talk with my boss. And why? He will give you the same answer I gave it to him. And my boss noticed. He said, because you are a woman, and he thinking you give it to him the right answer, the wrong answer. And it's funny because they automatic thinking you are less, you don't have value, and you don't have you don't know how to do your job. That's it. They don't know how to do your job. And I think the follow thing is we start raising our kids in the right way and show to them, if it is female, attend me, she deserves respect. And I think I believe she can do a good job. And when the kids see that, I guess they will automatic understand everybody's the same. Males and females are the same. They capable to do the same great things or the same bad things. They deserve to be treated right, and they can have the same opportunities to grow, to be somebody, to do something big or do something bad. And And it's funny because, you know, when you see these cases about females raping boys, people are surprised. And males always like, oh my gosh, I wish I can have a teacher like that when I was middle school. And you see how stupid, it's totally stupid. And you just making fun, you know, like whatever. But you know what? Nobody thinking that boy. But if it happened to a girl, everybody have a big consternation about it. Everybody get crazy about it. And you can see how this culture affect males too. It's affecting them because you know victimize the males. Well, we don't want to victimize, but in the way like you feel compassion in the same way. Like he's male, he can be better next, or he will pass that, he will move on. When females, you take her, you victimize her, you taking care of her, you have more compassion with her with the same thing. Like if a boy get raped, nobody cares, but if a girl get raped, get attended because you victimize the female because you thinking she not can defend herself. And you can see that in these type of situations when people partial with how they act with these situations like this.
Does it seem like a strange inversion of the callousness? Young age, compassion for one, callousness towards the other, grow up, inverts.
Maybe. Maybe.
Any final thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, no, any final thoughts?
Thoughts?
Yeah, any final thoughts?
Oh, sorry.
Thoughts.
Yes. I think we have to have compassion with even males or females. We have to start that culture, and because that's the only way you can put people in the same balance and have a balance between both genders, and other genders too. I think people only have to start this new generation with all this new, not new, but the right way, the right way to treat people right. And when you respect people, no matter how they look, no matter who they are, no matter what they like, everything coming automatic good. Because if you have that base and you respect the people and you understand, can prejudge everybody and just let the people be. And when you have that, you understand and you will not fail in that. And when we see all these like famous, do this and do this, and we have now, I guess, in China, prime minister is a female. I guess it's the first time something like that happened. You can probably, these kids will see that normal. They're normalizing woman powers or in higher positions. So when you see that, you will see they're capable to do everything. And when you see somebody's capable to do anything, you will not see any difference between males and females. I guess parents have to be very strong and do this part, because school is not doing this. School is not teaching gender perspective education. And I'm pretty sure gender perspective education is important to all these human rights, because you're not gonna have homophobia, you're gonna have patriarchy skills, if you would want to call it that way, or any of this harassment or this discrimination, because you will grow understanding everybody is a human. And when you understand everybody is a human, you will not see any difference, and difference don't bring any discrimination or any bad treatment or offend people and not taking care of people. When you understand everybody is the same like you. And this is another problem too with social classes. People also discriminate to poor people. You can see that too. And people don't talk about it. Everybody talking about black, white, gay, lesbian, but nobody talk about, because you can be a rich gay, nobody will mess with you.
Because you're fabulous.
Exactly. But if you are a poor gay, you will have double discrimination, I guess. And if you are, a gay president, everybody will love you still, no matter everybody, because you're in a position of power. But you will have a hard time to reach that. And when you have to normalize all this stuff, because it's the only way people can reach their goals easily and fairly. And respect.
Thank you for the opportunity anytime, Shirley.
Thank you, Scott. See you.
See you.
Bye. Hola amigos, espero que estén bien. Estamos hablando un poquito de todo. Estamos haciendo un tipo de preguntas y respuestas, diferentes tópicos y para ateos de Canadá. So, compartiendo ideas, compartiendo pensamientos, compartiendo experiencias. Gracias por estar aquí. Chao.